Hey, buddy. Yeah. Yeah.
Call this June 22nd, 2026 work session of the Helena City Council order. First item on our agenda is review of all June 8th, 2026 agenda items. Everybody had a chance to review the June 8th items?
Yes. Yeah, June 8th. Yes. Yes, sir. No questions on my end.
Next item is a review of AP and bill payments, which we received those today. Everybody had a chance to I just took a quick look at it when I received.
Yeah, sorry for the delay on that, guys. We're having some system issues last week with the transition to the new financial director and treasurer, battling local gov. Got all those things reconciled and rectified, but it did delay this report. Apologies, and that will be corrected going forward.
All right, any questions on any of the AP and bill payments?
And so if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to Patty or myself. We'll hold off any bill pay through tomorrow for any questions that may be coming due to the late delivery of that report.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Review of the June 8th, 2026 meeting minutes. I think we got those like the day after the meeting. Or pretty
Yeah,
quick.
they're pretty quick.
Yeah. Any questions, comments, corrections on those?
I did not see any, Mr. President.
All right. Update from council boards and committee business. I'll go ahead and say that Planning and Zoning Commission Chairman and the Library Director will be presenting their respective board reports in our city council meeting tonight. Okay. Any additional board and committee business?
Just the farmers markets rolling right along. I mean, it is, I did reach out after I was speaking with you, and I told Patty when she gets time in her height and schedule to look at the tax revenue dollars off the farmers market, see how we're looking on that.
Okay.
It'd be nice to see what that has improved to. So
Absolutely. You all had over 700.
yeah, last week was
last-
700. I think this weekend was about between 500 and 650.
That's
Like that.
amazing.
I haven't got the numbers yet, but it was crowded when I went by.
Good deal.
Multiple vendors ran out of stuff.
Okay. Any other board and committee?
Beautification will have the report at next meeting. I held them off because it was a pretty full agenda
Sure.
for next time.
Yeah.
Just a follow-up, Mr. Mayor, rose bushes. Any update on the schedule?
I'll get back with you on that. I spoke to Jason on vacation. I think what I left with them after we spoke last week is that they would try to have those taken out first part of this week for you.
No, it was by end of Friday of last week.
And okay, I'll follow up.
Okay. And I'm just trying to schedule the next
Yeah.
stages.
Because you've got the landscape company on aviation coming to put the mulch down. Is that correct?
We've got mulch coming in. We've got the fire department. They're going to come clean the gazebo, pressure wash it and paint it. So I'm trying to
Okay.
get it all done by the 3rd. So I'm
Yeah.
tight schedule.
Yeah. Well, the fire department, whenever they have the ability to do that, that would be dependent on the rose bushes. But let me follow up with our public works tomorrow and I'll shoot you an update.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, moving on. Next item on our agenda is the discussion of the 2025 fiscal year audit review report from, we have Walker Gant with Moses Dent. Is it now Doreen Mayhew?
You want to sit right there? Well, actually, if you could sit on the end, just so you have a mic. Yep.
Do that.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to be here. Again, I'm Walker Gann. You've got Dent Moses on your agenda. We're now Dorn Mayhew. Not much has changed other than the name there. So we are a few months after when I typically see you, maybe during the April meeting. So I got to say, with the changeover that we've had, and then I think some of the changeover in employees and administration here at the city just led to a little bit of delays that now we're here speaking to you a couple months late, but that's a one-time expected thing. And I hope you're still able to use this information and it be useful to the city. What you all have in front of you, and maybe what you've been provided before this, are 3 documents. You're going to have 2 letters that are for management and governance only. So there's a communication with governance letter that's basically our required communications with you all. An internal control letter that outlines any findings that there would have been there, and then the auditor's report. So the printed and bound audited statements that's in front of you. I think you all may have seen the financial statements in the past. I want to just make a few quick things that you'll notice as you're going through these without going into too much detail. If you have questions, happy to answer them now, or you can reach out to me afterwards. My business card is on the front of your one of your letters if you need to reach out and ask any quick questions in the future. First thing, I will get it done right off the bat. Our opinion on these financial statements is an unmodified opinion. So we believe these financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. That's on the second paragraph on that first page under the independent auditor's report. You'll notice as you're going through these statements, there's a lot of pages, and a lot of it looks like redundant information. You will notice the first couple of statements, the statement of net position and the statement of activities, are going to present the city's financials on a full accrual basis. So it's going to present all of your long-term assets and liabilities that you may not typically see on a day-to-day basis. Long-term assets like capital assets that are being depreciated, long-term liabilities like your long-term debt, your long-term pension liability, anything like that that is not available or going to be due in the current period is going to be on your statement of net assets and statement of activities. So that's everything all in there. Past that, you're going to see your fund level statements. Those are going to be presented on a modified accrual basis. So it's going to be more of your current term assets and liabilities, revenues and expenditures. And there's going to be some reconciliations between the two. So if you're looking through that and you see a difference between one of the statements to the other, there should be a reconciliation that's going to kind of draw you to what the differences are. And it's all timing differences. Our notes to the financial statements are going to explain in more detail everything that's presented on the face, your summary of significant accounting policies, and a little bit more detail if we're required to present more detail on any of those financial statement line items. You will notice if you looked at last year's and you had compared them to this year's, the utilities board of the city of Helena is no longer presented on the face of your statement of net position and your statement of activities. It was determined with some of the changes in the bylaws of the utility board and the structure of that they were no longer a component unit of the city. So their financials are not required to be presented next to yours on those two statements. So you will notice that has changed. A couple of unique things did happen during the year. There's the acquisition of the Indian Ford Fire District, which is included in these financial statements disclosed towards the end of your notes to the financial statements. Again, if you have any questions as you're going through these, now or in the future, please just reach out to me. I can shed some more light on it, provide you with a little bit more detail if that's helpful for you at all. Any questions? I mean, we can run through it in a little more detail if you want, or we can skip on to the end. But I will say, with the two notes that you have, the two letters that you've been provided outside of the financial statements, any adjustments that we made that would have changed the numbers from what you've seen in your regular monthly reports are going to be outlined in those letters. So if you're looking for why a number might be different, it's going to be in those two letters. I would like to draw some attention to the required supplementary information at the back. So this is required information by GASB. You've got your long-term or some pension schedules to show you the long-term pension liability, how that's changed over the years, the summary of required contributions. Those are two things required for your pension disclosures, and then your budget versus actual. I know this had a lot of discussion last year. It's presented by the general fund. Every legally required budget has to be presented in your required supplementary information. So you will notice on page 32, is your general fund budget versus actual schedule. There's a lot of discussion about this last year, and some of the amounts that were different, actual versus final budget amounts. You'll see how they look this year. My note on that would be that I would not rely on this solely to know if there are amounts in the cash flow or in the reserves of the city to be able to operate based on this schedule alone. This schedule alone is used to just see how the actual numbers compared with what was at first approved or amended by the council throughout the year. So you will notice, this is for the year 9/30/2025. You will notice some differences, some fairly significant differences between budget and actual and the revenue and expenditure side. So the mayor and I have met, Patty and I have met, kind of going over the budget, what the budget looks like going forward, how it's going to be more accurately presented and prepared. And we think that we've discussed it and we're on the right track for getting a budget that's going to be more in line with actual results at the end of the year.
So this points to some of the issues that I came to council with when I was preparing the fiscal year 26 budget. There were line items that didn't even have a budget figure. There were line items that the budget figure had not changed in 3 to 4 years, even though actual expense for those line items had continued to come in well over the budgeted amount. So that kind of takes away from what a reader could actually take away from this. Number one, this was not y'all's budget. This was the prior administration budget. But the exercise that we went through in really making sure that we had reasonably accurate, when I say reasonably accurate, I've been in here about 3 months with very little background information to put it together. We're going to be able to tie that in much better. Now, I think the prior year was showing about $11 million off on expenses. So this is showing about $4 million. Again, like to Walker's point, I think when fiscal year 26 is done, we'll see those numbers tighten up. The other thing that led to these is not doing proper budget amendments from when you're taking from one fund into another, or if you get a grant in. So I know one of the things that we dealt with the prior year was, Parks and Rec may have been budgeted $1 million, but they got a grant for 1.5 that wasn't reflected as a budget amendment to revenue. And then they spent the 1.5, which wasn't reflected as a budget amendment in expenses because there was additional funding that had come in. So all of those things contributed to the large difference in 24, and it contributed to this difference. But like I said, and Walker insinuated, I don't see us having this large of a discrepancy going into this year for this year's audit. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're right.
Walker.
That's great added context. I think one of the main things we talked about was obviously getting the numbers closer from the get-go, but also reviewing those as you go throughout the fiscal year and amending them as necessary. So you don't have a large variance at year end. That's unaccounted for. I will say, I can't say too much as the city's auditor. I've looked at prior year numbers and I know what the policies and procedures are for the council. All these amounts that run through, just like you talked about and what you will look at tonight, bills paid, AP reports, those are reviewed and approved by council. Now that I think the next step is just getting those, anything that's significant that might be changing the budget run through your budget versus actual. So it's a little bit more accurate, more useful.
Absolutely.
That's all I really want to get into tonight as far as the financial statements go. We could go on and on and on, but I think you've got a long agenda. But I want to thank the city for working with me this year, working with me and my team to be able to get this done, working through all the changes in administration and positions throughout the city, just to be able to get our information together and get this audit done. And I thank you for trusting us to be able to do your audit again this year. And again, happy to answer any questions now or in the future. And help you all be as successful as you can be, and have the most detail that you need to be able to do your jobs effectively.
Thank you, Walker. Council President, I would suggest we always have the option to move this to an agenda to vote. I think that we should give y'all a little bit more time to chew on it. Reach out to Walker in the event that you have additional questions. Reach out to me and Walker and have this on the agenda for approval at the July 13th meeting. Once we've got all those questions hammered out and we're going up, addressing the public, this will be provided once council votes on it. This will be part of the website that you'll have access to for review. And then we will field any questions that the public may have at that point once it's been finalized and approved.
Yeah, I agree. I think Councilman Healy is the only one who's been through the process of actually seeing one of these. Also, the rest of us haven't. There's a lot for us to familiarize ourselves with, and
It's a lot to digest in just 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, thank you, Walker.
Thank you all.
thank you. Are there any other questions for now from council on this? I know you just arrived.
No, I know it's going to be discussed.
Right. I mean,
It's not printed. What now? Discussion of 2025 fiscal year audit review report, Walker Grant with Moses Dunn.
I'm still in traffic.
It's a Monday. Thank you, Walker.
thank you.
Attorney Hayes. Okay. We both have.
I apologize. I didn't see it on there.
Yeah. There's a lot on there tonight. So if well, I made a mistake on the agenda also because I told Councilwoman Hammond I didn't think that was on the council agenda.
It depends on the version you have.
It is, we've had a lot of changes with the agenda that had this much meat on it, so I understand any confusion. So if there's a discussion, when we get back to this, the city donation policy resolution, if there's a change, council's always able to table it for this evening's vote and put that on the July 13th if we need to make any changes to that ordinance.
That takes a motion vote.
And I also would suggest that you invite our city clerk into executive session.
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session with City Council, Mayor Rosner, Attorney Hayes, Attorney Porter, and City Clerk Kim Rowland.
Go ahead.
Let's go 15. Let's go 15.
Go get Major.
So motion is second.
Got a roll call vote.
Yes.
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 We'll be back.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to reconvene.
Make a motion that we reconvene the work session.
All right, and a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Jeff, you made that, but second. Okay. Hammond,
Yes.
McDaniels.
Yep.
Dodson,
Yes.
Healy.
Yes.
Let me just fill this real quick. I do need to revisit the top of the council work session agenda. We should have had review of all 6/22/2026 agenda items for this meeting. I do know there's an item, Mr. Mayor, you need to address.
Yes, the city would like to withdraw their application for the second reading tonight for the rezoning on Highway 17 due to additional information and discussions with public.
Address that at the top of the council meeting agenda.
Yeah.
Next item on our agenda is discussion of trail expansion.
We'll keep it.
We had a citizen reach out to us about future plans to expand our trail system and connect more of our neighborhoods and schools. And I know that's an ongoing project. Mayor, do you know the status of that project from the?
So the Buck Creek project, after I think close to 30 years, has finally come back on the docket, fully funded, not fully funded, but has got the ALDOT funding, federal funding. We've got a 20% match that is going to get kicked off, and Blair, jump in if I've missed something, but that's going to go out for bid late summer, early fall, work to begin later in the year. You can see on this map, I'm trying to get in front of it. You can see on this map, it's basically going to connect from the Hillsborough, the existing Hillsborough Trail through Old Town, down along the creek, the Coke ovens, back behind the sports complex It's going to have a branch that goes off and comes out to the front of the sports complex parking lot and then go back to the Billy Gold Coke ovens. This project has run into, I believe, snails, all kinds of different environmental concerns. I'm sorry, what? Litigation, easement issues. I believe this project has, is it 2 bridges over creeks? 3? Okay. Do you know the projected construction time to get started and the actual construction time once it starts? Right.
It's going to take.
Okay. Thank you, Blair.
Will the future phases of the all be paved out?
It's all paved asphalt.
So this is a walking trail, correct?
Yeah, it's an extension of Hill Creek Trail.
Okay, so what happens when the Helena bypass project comes back again?
The Helena bypass, when I talked to Regional Planning Commission and the county, is in their visionary status, which means it's not coming back by their standards until sometime after 2050. That project has been tabled. It was tabled as a result in 03, 04. There was a green light. There was federal funding for it. They did the preliminary engineering. When it got time to do the right-of-way acquisition, the city's portion of that was, I believe, between 2 and 3 million. And the city was not able to come up with that money, and the project died. And like I said, RPC, who manages all the federal funding dollars, they have a list of their projects going out through the end of this century. And their visionary is either 2050 plus or 2060 plus. So unless something changes drastically, or you're aware of something that I'm not, the bypass that has been talked about for years really is not realistic and happening in the near future or even mid-future. Please do.
The bypass is out. You can see the corner. It's actually out in here.
Right.
It's hard to see, but I've got a box showing around this section of the Buck Creek Trail.
I see it.
That actually will not be, there won't be any physical construction. That's an old rail line and it was deemed to be historic by the state historic preservation office. So there actually won't be any construction out there where the proposed bypass would be constructed if it was unfunded. So that they were coordinated and they can both be built without conflicting with each other.
Because this
That's
was,
the answer I was looking for. Thank you.
Just looking at it from an aerial view, that's the only point of intersection I would have seen the bypass I first heard about 20-something years ago. Okay, thank you for the update on this. Any additional questions or comments on the trail expansion? Seeing none, discussion of e-bikes. We brought this to the agenda. Continue to see some social media comments and posts on the issue of e-bikes, and it's an issue that's not going to go away, obviously. I've spoken to Attorney Hayes about some ordinances that some other communities have enacted or are enacting. I will say that my wife and I have been coming out for Hillsborough Trail Walk at lunch sometime recently, and last Wednesday we did see a couple of Helena police officers on their bikes out there patrolling. So appreciate seeing that out there. Chief.
They were out there most of the day today. I kept seeing them drive by the
Oh,
office.
I will say, with their presence out there, we did not see any egregious e-bikers. So I know enforcement and, our ability to enforce that's going to be part of the issue. But in your review of some municipal ordinances on this issue, where do you think?
I mean, we talked about it.
Right.
The state, that's gonna be. Better? No. The states come out with, the legislatures come out with codifying, 3 different classes of bikes. We've had discussions. I've looked at some other communities that have enacted resolutions and ordinances dealing with that. Some that also allow LSVs on trails. Like the LSV ordinance we have in place now is 10-mile-an-hour limit. But the state's got a good definition of it. So I'm just trying to get it set right and set where it agrees with the other ordinance, or if we need to loop the two together, and I'll bring that to y'all. Motorcycle permits in the state of Alabama are 14 or 15 years old. And these things, I mean, just digging through the federal legal definitions of a motorcycle versus a throttle driven electric bike, and what's an e-motorcycle and what's an e-bike, outside of some pedals. To me, there's not too much difference. So I'll get y'all something on it, for safety and everything else. And there's some teeth with some other municipalities, anywhere from, if parents aren't there or guardians aren't there, they'll impound the bike, and fees go anywhere from $300 to $600. So there's some teeth behind some other municipalities in our state and elsewhere. So just doing that review and state law on it. So hopefully by your 1st of July meeting, I guess, which would be the next meeting, I'll have a draft to you that you can get out to council to discuss.
Okay, that sounds good. I mean, I think we're probably in the same situation. A lot of municipalities and counties with this, these e-bikes were introduced with equal access legislation at the federal level is my understanding. And then, communities are now trying to put toothpaste back in a tube as to how it affects, the ages of users and whether they're used on shared use paths or sidewalks or public roadways. And appreciate you looking into it. And we look forward to what we have before us in next month. So,
By all means, thank you. Appreciate that.
any questions or comments from council on that? And this will be something that will obviously, this will be a new ordinance, and we will put this out for public comment when we bring it forth. Because I know there's a lot of, we've gotten a lot of input on it already, even without it being
But in the meantime, the police department's doing the rodeo coming up in July.
Yep.
So
Right.
everybody's trying to do their piece to make sure that the rules are followed. Let's just put it that way, whether it's going to be by parent or by police officer. So. And we thank you.
All right. Okay, next item up for discussion is, next item on our agenda is a discussion of ordinance 1041-2026, ordinance to provide for the suspension on the establishment of or expansion of certain businesses within the B2, B3, M1, or M2 zoning districts. Councilman McDaniels, I know you initiated this, and I think we combined it with some requests from Councilwoman Hammond. Attorney Hayes has worked on a draft ordinance on that. I'll open the table to discussion of that.
I guess for myself, I appreciate my colleagues at least considering the need for a moratorium. I think in general, when you look at the city and its development, my words, I think we've spot zoned. We've allowed one classification to exist and we've changed it. It is not desirable to put, in my opinion, auto repair shops, muffler changing places, and manufactured homes and car dealerships in front of residential communities. I think Helena has a character, and I think that this moratorium at least gives us a chance from planning and zoning and make improvements to our zoning ordinance, and to have character conforming businesses in front of our neighborhoods. It's important for businesses to choose Helena as a destination, but it should be the right business. We're not for sale just to any business. Because once that business lifespan has gone away, I think the work that we have to do to make that building or that parcel available for other use could be damaging to the community, to the health and wellness of the city. And so it's something that gives us a start. I think it's something that the community has asked for. And so hopefully we can take advantage of this opportunity when we have this moratorium.
I think this provides a good bridge while we're working on an overall overhaul of our planning and zoning ordinance. Gives us some time to, finish that up and get that new ordinance in place. And I think this is a good, like I said, just temporary bridge on that. Any additional comments or questions from council?
Thank you again for adding in the data center moratorium. Appreciate that.
That's something it wasn't a topic before council such as ours 2 years ago. So it's something we need to there's still a lot of unknown variables on those facilities. So it's something we need to, that's going to need some thorough discussion as we proceed towards the new planning and zoning orders, for sure. Is this something, are we ready to bring this to first reading tonight? Or?
Well, Mr. President, at least from my opinion, it was introduced and it's been amended. So I think the amendments cover the majority of my colleagues' input to what this should look like. I also received the input that fast food restaurants was going too far. So of course that has been removed. I still think there are some inherent risks with adding more fast food, but I understand what it means for a family. I have a 12-year-old to be able to stop at a fast food restaurant that's affordable. So with that, I think what we have before us now is the final product with input from the counselors and I think also the mayor. So yes, good question.
Okay. So did we put that? And this agenda's been,
It is on there.
it is on there. Okay, so we're good
Yes,
to go on that. All right, thank you.
Yes.
All right. All right, seeing no additional discussion on the 1041-2026 ordinance for the suspension of establishment of certain businesses on our city council agenda meeting tonight. Next item up for on our agenda is a discussion of the city donation policy resolution. And this broadly covers multiple types of donations to the city. I did have a couple of people ask me about, is this about the city being able to donate? That kind of gave me memories of something a few years ago.
Come on, let's not get it
Yeah.
a tick.
So this is we've got this policy, which again, Attorney Hayes prepared this. Any questions or comments on this policy?
I'd like to open the table up for discussion on whether we wanted to make these amendments tonight or not. I didn't mean to bring them at last minute. I didn't realize it was on for a vote tonight, so I apologize on that. Looking at it and getting some feedback, I'm wondering if we want to make it where council and the mayor have to approve all donations, not one or the other. That would be my only edit.
So on the approval, That's official action by the council.
Mhm.
Well, when you say using that as an edit, it's just an observation. The mayor can veto something. So, I mean, that power exists. So, I mean, you can make that amendment, but he can veto something.
You know, I think that it's good to have policies that direct our action. What is first of all, 5:57? Is it? In terms of having both approval, what does that add to this? And these don't come up, I don't think, that often.
Very
So,
rarely.
right.
Policy on the books before, so.
In terms of donations, correct. So what? There we go. What are we trying to prevent or promote?
Just checks and balances, that's it.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with it as is. But I think making something unnecessarily cumbersome without a good reason on that, I don't know if that's the route y'all want to go. That's y'all's call. That's just my 2 cents on it.
I appreciate your input.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you have anything to say?
We received any donations?
So I think the precipice of this was, and Councilman Hammond, what was the name? It was
Howlands
Howlands. That's right. I was having, yeah.
are- And we didn't get everybody's approval. I talked to the mayor,
Yeah.
to the attorney, we decided, and then I asked the attorney, do we need something on policy so that we have this official, okay, other than just a handshake or an agreement between a council member and a mayor and an attorney? So he went and put this together for me, which is beautifully done, might I add. It is much more than I expected, to be honest with you. But you are the attorney, and that's why it is like it is. So it protects us from any rumblings, modifications, accusations. It keeps it clean.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do.
And I think keeping it clean is good. I have no problem with that at all, having things dotted and papered up.
This will go to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and this goes to the all three that was donated and.
Right.
Anything.
He just documents it.
Right.
Okay.
I agree. I don't have an issue with it at all.
The only item I see, section 4, procedures, item 1, that says unrestricted donations of 5,000 or less
Yeah.
may be accepted by the manager.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
then
doing
what?
one of those.
Have this, is this on the council agenda?
Yes, it is.
It's a jumble.
It is down at we just had it.
It's under quarterly reports.
Yeah.
There it is. Admin, City of Helena, Alabama donation policy.
Yep. So we'll have first reading on that on the city council agenda.
And in section 5. The council may require donation agreement, unrestricted donations of anything from. Okay. So there's.
There's room to,
There's.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. All right, next item on our agenda, and I know we're going to have to start our city council meeting a little bit late, but well, like we had time to complete everything in this work session. So let's go ahead and move on to this last item on the work session agenda, being the discussion of public nuisance unsafe structure at 4734 Hollow Lane, Helena, Alabama 35080. The building official brought this to our attention. Welcome him to the table.
This is a property in the backside of Plantation South. I'm sorry, forgot about that. And Broadwood has been an ongoing issue for at least 3 years. Is trying to get them to come into compliance with maintaining their house, and they've left it in a state of, my words are, abandoned, in that the doors are unlocked, they're open. We've got from some of the photos that were submitted, I'm not sure if I didn't give you the inside photos of but people have been going inside. They're starting to tear the inside of it apart. We've sent letters in the past over the last couple of years to the owners who live in Pelham. For some reason, they've ignored it up until recently. They did sign for the letter that was sent to them, certified mail, acknowledging that they have received, that they know that we are saying, hey, you need to come in and clean up your lot. And they are ignoring it. By ordinance, before I start going any farther with this, I have to bring it to council. And along with this, I'm just going to put into place that I'd spoke with the attorney about updating this nuisance policy and updating the process that we're using to help us get to through this a little faster. In the past, there's been at least 2 times that we've been out, the city has cut the grass, and it's to a point now to where it's going to need a bush hog or something to cut it. It's deplorable conditions, and we don't really understand why. I do know this is not the only home in our area that is like this. There's several others that were in the process, but we're in the very beginning stages of documenting those. So what I was seeking is for council approval to go ahead and move forward with having Public Works again go out and at least cut and straighten up the outside of it to obtain enough wood to secure the doors. So the back door has been totally kicked in, and the frame, it's just off. So we're going to have to put a 4x8 sheet on the back, and then there's a window that is broken that I'm not sure. I think I can get away with probably a quarter of a piece, and it cover that window up to stop people from trying to stop people from going inside. Because you go in, you look inside of it now. I didn't go completely inside. You just open the door, you can see there's all kinds of things going on in there. So we needed to bring it to your attention before we spend any money, that council's aware of what we were doing and what we're having to do with this particular property. And I will say there's others. You'll start getting a list, I think, in the future of this is ongoing abatement process that I'm in the middle of, trying to get these areas caught up, or these houses caught up to coming into compliance.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The monies that we spend having City Works go out, and are we adding that to their taxes? Are we billing them for that?
That is the other reason why I'm here. No, we are not. We have to have y'all's permission to do it, to allow us to move forward with that, which is,
Okay, that's a county. I mean, I know in Jefferson County, and I don't know Shelby, so I apologize. I know in Jefferson County, you need a county, you can help me.
Special assessment.
Right.
special assessment. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But
And the rights to go on the property before you go on it.
right. So that's why we have to come where there's to be a hearing. And then after the hearing is over with, that we would have to give notice, and the opinion, if there's a mortgage or anybody that's a concerned party can come. But the way we are right now, I have to just bring it to you to say, hey, this is where I'm at in this process, and I need to start filing something, start moving forward to be able to get something done.
So you said
No, I
there's a
really
list.
answered the question. Okay.
So that you said there's going to be a list.
Yeah, I have started a list now of properties.
Kidding?
We have about 6 properties right now that we're in the process of trying to get them to cut their grass, simple things. And then some of them are like this one. They're a little more, there's a place where a chimney is coming off the side of the house that I saw that today, took photos of that. But
Thank you.
yeah, we want to get us into a good checklist and a good ordinance, because what we've got is, from 96 and 2000,
Well, and these homes in our communities and neighborhoods have been blights in the neighborhoods for many years, and there has not been action taken. Like many of the things that I think we're tackling, the front end of this process is going to be pretty arduous, catching up with 6, and I bet you there's probably another handful out there. But once we continually monitor and get this process refined, where it could be a little bit more expedient, I think we can resolve the issue much better than we have it today,
Right.
and be a little bit more proactive before it gets to the point that this subject property is in.
Yeah, we just need to make sure. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, code enforcement is one of the challenges that we have, because in as much we are a desirable community, we're starting to age. And code enforcement has not been something, that we focused on. So one, we definitely appreciate you giving this some attention. I don't know if Chief Wood is here, and I can't remember how long ago, but I think the last time I remember an inspector, so to speak, was when Penn Hill was mayor. That mean
Code enforcement officer. It may have bled over into Mark Hall's term a little bit, but I think that you're right.
Retired police officer did it for a while.
For a while.
Didn't
So-
Chad do some too?
Well, Chad in the capacity of Chad Campbell. The capacity is building official.
I guess the point I'm trying to make with that, with someone who's focused solely on code enforcement, and I'm not looking this as a revenue generator, but a compliance issue. But that's going to bring money back into the city for violations that the city is currently probably taking care of. I see that you have an assessment on their weeds that we've taken care of that we haven't recouped.
Right.
So whether we route that through our municipal court or we file it in probate court to take them to district court, we need an avenue to be able to recover money that the city is investing in private property. That's not our responsibility, but the fact that you guys are stepping up to do something about it is a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
It's a start.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm behind you 100% as long as we're following the rules. We don't enter the property until we've
Right.
got approval. We don't do any work until we know that we're going to get money recouped. We don't need, yes, they're ugly. Yes, they need to be taken care of, but not solely as a revenue generator, as Councilman McDaniel said, but we just have to follow the process. So once we've established what that process is, bring it back to us and we can move forward from there.
Okay.
Do we need to help you? Because I'm not personally familiar. I have a cheat code. Typically, I'll say something to the mayor say something to you or Chief Wood. So I don't have an ordinance that I've read, but you've made reference to our ordinance. Do we need to be looking at that to update it to better support?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it does need to be updated.
This time, there's no action we need to take until you initiate the next.
Okay, right.
Is that correct?
That's absolutely. Because we had, the process was, I had to come to the council and state, hey, we want to start sending these letters. Well, we went ahead and sent these letters. We went ahead and I've started where I sent just a regular mail, second notice, third notice really was the registered mail. It was acknowledged, or at least they received it. We got that back, and that's been over 2 weeks ago. So then it was like, well, we've got to start moving this process forward, because as y'all know, we have other houses that are in the area that are creating a problem for the community. I just posted one today, another zoning violation today that's going to have to be followed up. And the checklist, I have that old ordinance, but there's 2 ordinances and both of them kind of contradict each other as far as what to do. And we want to, we wanted that. Yes, ma'am. That's not what I wanted to bring, but I wanted to come to ask, is this something you want us to go ahead and I've reached out to a few cities and Madison County, and I say reached out, I went and I downloaded their ordinances, and I also downloaded the one that Birmingham recently did on the blight properties. So the thought was to put things together and give it to the city attorney.
So that letter that we've already sent, does it say we're going to take action?
It doesn't state that it's going to take
Okay.
action.
So
It's just,
we've got-
we're trying to
we've got
bring
to
it.
make
Yes,
sure that we're covered.
correct.
by law.
This was, hey, this is bring you notice that I'm taking this to city council for
Can
action.
you get Jefferson County information? The neighboring city.
We did attempt to issue them summons in the past, but we could not get anybody that we sent officers over to have them come into municipal court for nuisance offenses. We could not get anyone to come to the door, nor would they sign for summons, but we have attempted in the past to get
Thank you.
That concludes our work session agenda. We will adjourn this work session. What time do you want to start, City Council? Start at 6:16?
Yeah.
Commence our council meeting at 6:16.
Yes.
Does anybody want to sign in? I know you're already on the agenda.
It's got to be next door.
I call this June 22nd, 2026 meeting of the Helena City Council to order. First item on our agenda is our invocation. I'll ask Pastor Rusty Tate from Helena Methodist to come forward.
Let's pray together. Father, we thank you. It's just as we recognize in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag that we are one nation under God. We here in the city of Helena are one city under you as well. And we know that we need your wisdom. We need your guidance. We need your directing. And so we just ask your guidance upon this time, your guidance upon the city council members and those that will be making decisions, that you are our wisdom, you are our guide, you are our righteousness. And so we continue to look to you, recognizing you as our as the one who guides us. And so help us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Rusty. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilman Healy will lead us in that. Thank you, Councilman Healy. Next item, council roll call, Madam Clerk.
Here.
Here.
Here,
Here.
we have a quorum. Next item, I would like to go ahead, I'm sorry. Next item on our agenda is the presentation of minutes. The agenda states May 11th, 2026 and May 20th, 26. This is actually presentation of minutes from the June 8th, 2026 City Council meeting, which we've all reviewed and received. Any council comments or questions on that meeting minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of 6/8/2026.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Minutes are accepted. I'd like to go ahead and address one item which has been withdrawn. The city has withdrawn its request for rezone requests from B1 Neighborhood Business District to B2 General Business District, 5248 Highway 17, parcel 28.1001001.000. There will be no public hearing or action taken on that agenda item tonight. So if you're here for that item only, we will not be taking any action on that tonight. Next item on our agenda is the revenue report and AP bill payment, which we've received and reviewed. Any questions or comments from council on the revenue report and AP bill payment? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the revenue report and AP bill payment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Revenue report and AP bill payment is approved.
For the record, Councilman, President, remember that there'll be no bills paid for 24 hours, so we have a chance to review them.
Right, we did.
Thank you.
We're updating our system and we have new personnel in place. We are going to be taking action on that after about 24 hours. We'll be taking care of that. Next item on our agenda is municipal operations report from Mayor Billy Rosner.
Good evening, council. First, there's lots of things going on in Helena that I'm going to address. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to the Kiwanis Club of Helena. They put on their first poker run. They had 30 applicants. I think they raised a little over 800. Is that right, Daniel? What? 840. That is a great first event and something they'll be able to build on. I don't know if the city's been paying attention, but the Kiwanis Club has been very active over the last 6 months, a year, and doing renovations at both Joe Tucker. They painted the pavilion. They've done some repairs up there. They funded themselves in this poker run, as well as, Daniel with Helena Hardware has also donated all the fish for Joe Tucker Park. So thank you very much for all the Kiwanis has been doing here recently. Thank y'all. Well deserved. Lots of upcoming events. First of all, we got a blood, these are not in chronological order. We have a blood drive on the 30th that'll be in the annex parking lot directly across from the municipal building, the new public safety center, the old city hall in that church parking lot. That'll be all day. As you go in and give blood, let them know if you're there to support the fire or the police, because it is a little competition between our public safety units. HPD will be hosting a safety rodeo on July 18th from 9 to 11. This is going to help kind of get the message out about these e-bikes, some of the safety measures that need to be taken, and just a public awareness. And we thank HPD for hosting that. This one's not going to be received very favorably, but I did receive notice from the railroad that the railroad tracks next to the depot will be under construction and repairs starting tentatively July 6th and will be closed for through traffic anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. I asked the railroad if we could do that over a weekend to mitigate the traffic, and that was not possible. So we'll be putting that out on our social media to make sure everybody's aware that the road, Helena Road, will be closed. We understand the inconvenience this causes all of our citizens as well as our businesses in Old Town. Unfortunately, it is the railroad, and they will their repairs trump our traffic. Another exciting bit of news. I know early in our administration, Councilwoman Hammond announced that she had secured funding from Judge Welborn for the baby box to be installed at Station 2. We will be blessing that baby box tomorrow with a press conference at 2 p.m. I encourage any of you in the community that would like to attend and show your support to please be there if you can. It's a tough situation when a family surrenders a child, but being able to offer this in our community is a testament to us trying to reach out and serve not only the needs of our community, but the needs of surrounding communities. Told y'all there was a little bit to go over tonight. We've got upcoming library events. Again, thanks to HPD. They did a great event at the library last week. The fire department is up this Wednesday at 2:30. We'll be doing a presentation. Dan, is that at the library or at the fire hall? Fire department. Yes, sir. Should be easy to find. And also, Dan, wanted to let me remind y'all that the summer reading program is still open. Feel free to sign up, and that prizes are given mid-July. Is that right, Dan? July 11th. So get after your reading. All right. Thanks for that clarification. And also, we've got our July 3rd quincentennial celebration on July 3rd. It's a Old Town Live show. The gates are going to open at 6. We've got Jesse Crow and the Unrest, which is a local band out of Maylene, performing at 6:45. Monsters of Yacht is going to be taking the stage at 8. We have a special 250th anniversary celebration and fireworks kicking off at 9. So y'all please come out. We know the parking will be a bit of an issue down there, even with our new parking lot. So come early, have a great time. The volunteers, both with the Buck Creek Festival and the Helena Hot Board, do a wonderful job putting on these events, and we're looking forward to it. Anything else that I may have missed, Council may want me to address? No. All right.
think so.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mayor. Next item on our agenda, we have a recognition of Helena resident, Second Lieutenant James E. Roberson, graduation from the United States Air Force Academy. Second Lieutenant Roberson and his family are out of town right now, but Councilman McDaniels is going to read that resolution or that recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President. Honoring and commending Second Lieutenant James E. Roberson III, more commonly referred to as Trey, on his graduation from the United States Air Force Academy and his commissioning into the United States Space Force. Whereas Second Lieutenant James E. Roberson III, a distinguished native of Helena, Alabama, has demonstrated exceptional leadership, academic excellence, and athletic grit throughout his formative years in military education. And whereas in 2021, James was appointed to the United States Air Force Academy by Congressman Gary Palmer of Alabama's 6th Congressional District, reflecting his deep-seated desire to serve his nation. And whereas he successfully completed the rigorous curriculum of the United States Air Force Academy Preparatory School from 2021 to 2022 before matriculating to the Academy. And whereas James graduated on May 28, 2026 as a member of the United States Air Force Academy 68th graduating class, earning a Bachelor's of Science degree in Behavioral Sciences And whereas during his time at the Academy, he distinguished himself as a flight commander for Cadet Squadron 35 and was awarded the Air and Space Achievement Medal for his extraordinary peer leadership and dedication to the welfare of his subordinates. And whereas James was a 3-year letterman for the Air Force Falcons football program, proving his resilience by continuing to serve as a vital leader within the Bolt Brotherhood, even after a premature end to his 2025 season due to injury. And whereas following his graduation, James achieved the ultimate milestone of his academy career by commissioning as a second lieutenant in the United States Space Force. Now therefore be it resolved that Second Lieutenant James E. Robeson III is hereby recognized and commended for his outstanding achievements, his unwavering devotion to duty, and his exemplary military career and athletic career. And be it further resolved that the city of Helena extends its deepest pride and congratulations to James and his parents, James and Fananiva Robeson, for their magnificent milestone. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman McDaniels, and congratulations to Trey Robeson and his family. I'm sure they're all proud, and we're proud as a community. And the next time we meet, July 13th, his dad had informed me that's when he deploys for his commitment to the United States Space Force. So he's going on from the Air Force Academy to the Space Force, and from right here in Helena. So we're all very proud of him. Next item on our agenda, we have a proclamation from the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, celebrating America's 250th. Mary, do you want to read this proclamation? Do we have anyone from the Daughters of the American Revolution here tonight? Okay.
Whereas on July 4th, 2026, our nation will commemorate the semi-quincentennial anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And whereas the journey toward this historic milestone is an opportunity to reflect on our nation's past, honor the contributions of all Americans, and look ahead to the future generations who will carry forward the ideals of democracy and individual liberty that make the United States a unique nation in the world community. And whereas the great state of Alabama played a role in the American Revolution with the Battle of Fort Charlotte, also known as the Siege of Mobile, in 1780, that saw Spanish forces successfully seize the fort from the British. And whereas the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution is a non-political women's service organization established in 1890, whose members are lineally descended from patriots of the American Revolution. And whereas through the president's general leadership over the next 3 years, all daughters will illuminate our legacy through commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America with intention and purpose by reflecting the values of liberty, democracy, and the sacrifices made by those who came before us. And whereas from the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party in 2023 until the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 2033, daughters are celebrating our nation's rich history and diversity of experience by honoring all men and women who achieved American independence. These patriots, believing in the noble cause of liberty, fought valiantly to establish a new nation. And whereas the Alabama Daughters of the American Revolution, now therefore it be it, will be celebrated at the city of Helena's 250th Independence Day celebration on July 3rd, 2026. Resolved that I, Billy Rosner, Mayor, City of Helena, commend this commemoration to all of our city residents.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, we have quarterly reports from a couple of our boards, committees, and commissions, and these are the two which I serve as the liaison to. We'll begin with the Planning and Zoning Commission from Chairman Bob Caliento.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor, all present. I'm initiating here, explain our procedures, our planning and zoning quarterly report. I'm not going to go into it, but you've got as part of the law, what we have to present is an attendance record, and I'm not going to go into that. You can see for yourself who's been absent, who's been present. To get into the meat of this, I'm going to set out the primary objectives of the Planning Commission in the last, I would say, 4 months. Number one, we seek to promote commercial growth along major roadways where feasible, yet preserve as much as possible of the characteristics that have made Helena a livable city. We have sought to limit the development of small lot subdivisions, yet being receptive to mixed-use developments. Said developments being a combination of commercial and residential properties with controlled densities and open spaces. Currently, planning and zoning has sought to accomplish this under our current special district categories. Our overall goal is to create a livable city whereby residents at all income levels have a place to aspire to. Our upcoming initiatives, and this will probably be a floating thing. Our upcoming initiatives are currently our zoning ordinance is being reviewed and revised to employ smart growth initiatives, including but not limited to environmental impact and traffic studies, which we always haven't employed. That is the current state of what planning and zoning is seeking to accomplish. I guess I'm open to questions if there are any.
Any questions from council?
Well,
Of course, you don't have a financial report because the Planning and Zoning Commission doesn't have that.
no, a financial report. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
And the next report is going to be for the library board, and Library Director Dan Deering is going to present that one to us.
QR code for me.
I didn't realize that I could be that brief. So thanks for that, Councilman Dodson. But I want to say good afternoon to the council and to department heads and to our residents out there. So make sure you visit the library soon, as the mayor mentioned. The library board has 3 meetings in the books. The recently appointed board elected Nancy Ferris, the remaining member who had some experience as president. So congratulations there. Former council liaison Laura Joseph was elected secretary. The next meeting is scheduled for July 30th at 4:30 p.m. So that concludes my report. Y'all wish. Thought I'd try that out there. This says to restart on the phone. So I had a couple of documents here from Councilman Dodson. I've got to go here to get to. Got to pull up my glasses. Quick report, the library summer reading program is progressing nicely. With patrons still signing up, several programs are in the books with more to come as the summer continues. The library has volunteers pitching in to help include some new faces and the Helena Bells. America 250 has provided some great opportunities for the library, including book displays, the Mark Twain program, so we appreciate that, and to all of you who attended and presented there, and the ever-popular Storytime, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11. Storytime features a patriotic theme the week of July 4th. Accomplishments and goals for the board include establishing a policy manual and making sure that board-approved policies are in one place and easy to find for the future. So this one will be really nice for me, so I won't have to go through all those board minutes. This process will continue moving forward. New goals and initiatives include the library long-range plan, which must be reviewed, updated, and approved before October 1st. In addition, the state has enacted code changes for the library collections and procedures. The process is well underway for the Helena Library. We're working with the county, with our other libraries too, with new steps being implemented in August and September. Let's see here. I think this is where I moved to the next one. No, the library board is monitoring this process and scheduled to make the necessary actions. Please see attached financial statements. The library account stands at $18,940.33. Calm down. It's not all money that we get to spend. Of that amount, $11,564 is reserved for various grants from our elected officials and local companies. And then $7,375 of that is discretionary. State aid account stands at $6,384.84. Upcoming, there are 2. Let me go back to my sheet here. Additional checks that are on the way. One is in hand, and the final check usually arrives in August, so we can do our annual rush job of spending and accounting. So I know Patty, our new finance person, has told me that she's going to try to help me with that, so it's not such a rush. But Quick budget note, as you may recall, the library came in at the 6-month mark at 52% spent. Don't quibble about that 2%, right? So the mayor let me know that. And so that was celebratory news for us because we've been working hard on that. Otherwise, the library is rolling along with our normal operation, plus the thrills and spills of a hot Helena summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Y'all have any questions for me?
Questions from council? Seeing-
Thank you much, guys.
Moving on to our next agenda item, we have approve or deny, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yes, approve or deny resolution 06222026 admin, City of Helena, Alabama donation policy. Pull this document. Does anyone from council volunteer to read this one? If not, I can read it.
She would have to make it an 8-page document.
Yeah. Yeah. So just the resolution. Okay, we'll just read the resolution on this and we will post the policy on the website, and I'll go ahead and read this resolution. Resolution 06222026-admin, City of Helena, Alabama donation policy. Whereas the City of Helena, Alabama complies with all laws within the state of Alabama, and whereas the City Council of the City of Helena wishes to establish a written donation policy for the city, and whereas the City Council of the City of Helena, Alabama wishes to enact the following policy attached as Exhibit A in regard to donations made to the city, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Helena, Alabama, that the City Council adopts the donation policy detailed in Exhibit A as the formal donation policy for the City of Helena. I just want to give everyone an explanation. This is for donations made to the city. This is not going to give us the opportunity to start donating taxpayer resources to outside of the city. So this will be for incoming donations to the city. It's just so we have a written policy for this type of activity. Is there any council discussion on this resolution? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain any public comment on this if there is any. All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny Resolution 06222026-admin, City of Helena, Alabama donation policy.
Just 1 second.
The document name. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah. We need to define it as, define one of them as A, one of them as B, one of them as C. Do we need to, we've got several resolutions tonight. Each one, I guess, should be zero, have a alphabetical letter assigned to the 06222026 admin -A, for example. So, 06.
Exhibit A, yeah. Or the Exhibit A.
Okay. So noted that this will be a vote to approve or deny the resolution specific to the City of Helena, Alabama donation. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Yes. Okay.
Ma'am, please, if you don't mind to stand, please state your name and your address, please.
Deb Losi, 151 Moss Bend Drive. We haven't had the opportunity to read the 8 pages that you're referring to about donations. So I'm asking that you not vote until the citizens have the opportunity to read the full 8 pages regarding donations. It's possible that land could be donated to the city. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We need to know if land can be donated to the city and for what purpose that land would be used. And in order to find that out, we need to be able to read the document before it is voted upon and possibly approved.
Just for clarification, there is no donations in line at this time. This is for future whatevers that could happen. We did have a donation of artwork back in April, and I asked the city attorney to put a resolution together for us so that we kept things clean. So that's what sparked us to do this. There is no other.
I'm not worried about that at all.
I just wanted to.
My
you know,
concern is that we all have the opportunity to read the 8 pages regarding the donations. If it's financial, if it's art, if it's land, if it's property, all the citizens need to be able to read this before it's approved. That's my concern.
Okay, ma'am, I can read the attached policy.
All the citizens of Helena need to be able to read it on the website, not just the people in here.
Well, it will be posted on the website, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, her concern is that
Yeah.
we would have already approved it by the time it's posted. And typically for a resolution, that requirement is not, that is not required for a resolution. But
You're not required to let the people know.
for a resolution of a policy such as this, that's not typically required. I mean, I'll entertain a motion to table this until we.
I request that it be tabled at this time.
So moved.
Second, just to get the item before us, then I can still give my comments. Ma'am, Mr. President?
Yes.
Ma'am, I went to the City of Helena's website, and the documents are published in their entirety, beginning with the resolution and all of the subsequent attachments. Now, this may require an opinion from the city attorney, but in terms of the Open Meetings Act and notice to the public, this meeting was made public. The items that we are discussing have gone beyond what the law requires. We've actually published the documents. Your concern is valid, but at the end of the day, we cannot meet every citizen's need on a publication for them to read it before the city acts. It would impede the city's ability. This item, through your wishes, has been tabled, but it's actually published in its entirety on our website.
Okay, I have one more question. I'd like to ask for a show of hands of anyone in here who has been on the website and who has read this. If you have read the donations, about the donations to the city on the website.
And Mr. President, and just one other comment. I think Councilor Hammond was the author of this, but I do just want to say that every item that the city donate or receives as a donation, it must come before the council for approval. So this puts the framework in place. Again, it's being tabled, but each item of donated or value $1 or more has to come to the council for approval.
I understand. Thank you then.
We have a motion.
Is
and a
this
second.
cut into my 3 minutes because I'm up to speak?
I mean, if you're signed up for open comment, then that's a separate time. You're welcome. We have a motion and a second to table. Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Next item on our agenda is approve or deny the extension of Resolution 06-23-20258, declaring a temporary moratorium on stores that sell or intend to sell hemp and/or vape products in the corporate limits and police jurisdiction in the city of Helena. Attorney Hayes, would you like to give a summary on this?
Easy summary, same thing that was passed June the 23rd of 2025 that's in the council minutes and on the website in verbatim with an extension of the date until June 21st, 2027.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Is there any council comment on this extension?
No, Mr. President.
Is there any public comment on this extension? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny the extension. It's in front of me again. It's got several of them on here.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
the motion passes. Next item on our agenda is let's see, approve or deny first reading ordinance 1043-2026, ordinance to provide for the suspension on the establishment or expansion of certain businesses within the B2, B3, M1, or M2 zoning districts. I'll open the floor first to council discussion of this item. Councilman Daniels, would you like to introduce this, since most of this was part of what you introduced at the last meeting?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, members of the audience, I am going to extract excerpts from the ordinance. But once again, this ordinance, if it's not published, it will be published in its entirety. The intent of the ordinance is to temporarily suspend any approval of, again, my words, spot zoning for the establishment or expansion of gas stations, auto parts, mechanic shops, automobile and manufactured home dealerships, and data centers. This moratorium, and let me read it versus trying to just kind of ad lib, which will help. Whereas the overall health and safety of citizens is the primary consideration that the governing authority should consider within its comprehensive planning and zoning regulations. Whereas the City of Helena zoning ordinance currently does not restrict the expansion of certain district buildings and or use of property within a 1,000 feet radius of highways 17, 52, 58, and 95. I'll skip down a little ways. Whereas the City of Helena must evaluate and determine proper zoning treatment, operational standards, environmental impact, economic impact, and other locational criteria to ensure that the protection of the public's health, safety, and welfare is in its best interest. Section 1, therefore be it ordained by the City of Helena as follows. Skip down a little bit. Section B, the purpose of this suspension, among other reasons, is for the City of Helena, through its officials and staff, to review certain B2, B3, M1, M2 buildings or land used for gas stations, auto parts, stores, mechanic shops, automobile and manufactured home dealerships, data centers, and other industrial uses and their operations, to update and revise the City of Helena zoning ordinance to ensure that the certain B2, B3, M1, and M2 buildings or use of property located in clearly defined and compatible zoning districts, and to have reasonable operational regulations to prevent negative impacts on the overall character and health, safety, and general welfare of the community. All activities relating to the acceptance, review, and action upon new applications for issuance of business permits, site plan approvals, business licenses, and any other official City of Helena action, excluding zoning applications or zoning board of adjustment actions received on or before the effective date of this ordinance that would authorize, or permit new or expanded gas stations, auto repair stores, mechanic shops, automobile or manufacturer home dealerships, or data centers, and other industrial uses in any part of the City of Helena, or would create any vested rights that would authorize such new or expanded uses to be constructed shall be suspended for 180 days from the effective date of this ordinance. During the time of the temporary suspension is in effect and subject to the terms of this ordinance, the City of Helena will not accept applications or act on any pending applications for building permits, site plans, approvals, or any other City of Helena actions for such activities, and no such new activity shall be permitted within a 1,000 feet radius of Highway 17, 52, 58, and 95. Those are the excerpts, and to the public, this will be published in its entirety. Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman McDaniels. Any council comments or questions on this ordinance?
I just have a comment, Mr. President. If the item comes up and there appeared in the work session to be consensus, I would just ask for unanimous consent, if you'll consider that.
Okay. Unanimous consent on this.
So yes, sir. So if we'll just have unanimous consent, if the vote passes immediately following, it will be adopted tonight.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for unanimous consent on ordinance number.
No, just go ahead and.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll open the floor to, is there any other council comment before we move into public comment? Yes, ma'am. Can you please come to the podium?
I didn't hear how long the moratorium is supposed to be established for.
180 days.
A year?
180 days. 6 months.
6 months.
6 months. Can it be extended to 1 year so we can find out what's going on with data centers and have more time to do research? Leeds just passed a moratorium. Their city passed one for 1 year. And other cities are passing moratoriums regarding data centers for 1 year. Leeds is one.
I think, Mr. President, that's in your purview. I think immediately today we have 180 days. We can extend it before the 180 days expires.
Well, it says in here that we can either rescind it or extend it.
I think that's sufficiently covered.
So we can extend it.
Can it be extended for 1 year?
We can determine that during the term of this 180 day.
You're not
We're not voting on what, whether it will be 1
voting
year.
on 6 months or a year.
We're voting on a 6-month moratorium with options to extend.
So it's not up for discussion as to whether you can do it for a year.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it to discussion. I mean, I'm comfortable with the 180 day. We're in the process right now of updating or basically rewriting our planning and zoning ordinance. We're going to address some of these items in there specifically. And, I feel like this 180 days gives us a bridge to prevent anything from happening between now and that time. And then, we will determine whether we need to extend it another 180 days during that time frame.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have any additional question or comment? Yes, sir.
Daniel Nathan. I just wanted.
Please state your address, please.
1094 Chateau Drive.
Thank you.
I just want to know, did I miss that 261 is not part of this? I heard 95 and 58 and 17 and 52, but I didn't hear 261. Is there a reason that that's left out of this moratorium?
Mr. President, I don't want to speak to that, but I think we have a separate freestanding ordinance. I know, but I cannot quote it for 261. So I don't know if the mayor or, yeah.
The majority of 261 is dictated by the Renaissance District, which already prevents those.
I'm sorry?
The majority of 261 is already covered under the Renaissance District, which already prevents much of that development.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I think it expires in 27.
Any additional public comment on this item? Yes. Please state your name and address.
Tom Stanberry, 146 Cedar Bend Drive. I really have a procedural question. In the council's ability to vote for unanimous consent on the first reading, do all 5 council members have to be present? If one is absent, the other 4 vote yes. Is that a legal vote?
We can defer to.
Attorney Hayes, do we need full attendance for a unanimous consent decision? We have quorum, so we just need unanimous consent of quorum.
Mr. President, so we're clear for the record. We will have 1 vote to vote the item up or down, to suspend our rules for immediate consideration for the item to go into effect from this date. The unanimous consent is essentially to suspend our rules for the second vote.
Correct.
So we're just accelerating the implementation of the ordinance versus bringing it back for a second reading.
Correct. Do we have any additional public comment on this item? Do we have any additional council comment on this item? All right, so I will now entertain a motion for unanimous consent.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion for immediate consent of the
For immediate consideration, I'm sorry.
consideration. Thank you. Thank you.
My
Thank you for the
bad.
term. Immediate consideration of ordinance.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Yes.
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 All right. And now we will have, now we have before us the motion to approve or deny ordinance number 1043-2026, an ordinance to provide for temporary suspension on the establishment or expansion of gas stations, auto parts, mechanic shops, automobile or manufactured home dealerships, and data centers. Do we have any public comment on ordinance 1043-2026? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And you're Mrs. Trussell, right? All right, thank you. Any additional public comment on this item? Any additional council comment on the ordinance itself?
I think it's a smart move.
All right, seeing no additional comment, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny ordinance number 1043-2026, an ordinance to provide for a temporary suspension on the establishment or expansion of gas stations, auto parts, mechanic shops, automobile or manufactured home dealerships, and data centers.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
the motion passes. All right, next item on our agenda. This is the item that was the applicant, the city of Helena, pulled from the agenda. This would be the second reading of rezone request from B1 Neighborhood Business District to B2 General Business District, 5248 Highway 17, parcel 13-828-1001-018.000. So that one will not be, we will take no public hearing or action on that item tonight. Next item on our agenda is second reading of rezone request from B1 Neighborhood Business District to B2 General Business District, 2698 Helena Road, Store Growth and Development LLC, with a recommendation to deny from Planning and Zoning on May 21st, 2026. Does the applicant wish to present this item? Yes. Had it been, do you know if it had been operating earlier? Okay. All right, it may have timed out. We're going to try and reconnect. I'm going to take a 5-minute recess while we address that before we proceed.
Testing, testing.
Testing. Can you hear me now? Hey, Blair, can you hear me? On the YouTube.
Yeah, let's see this all up here.
I'm sorry. Well, that's why I've been testing.
You just came through on my YouTube there. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Nathan, for bringing that to our attention. All right, we will resume from recess. Is everyone here? All right.
I need to press anything?
No, I think it's on.
Is it green?
Yes, green. Good to go. Andrew Wilson here to speak on behalf of Store Growth and Development LLC. We don't have anything else to comment on the rezone. We're seeking a rezone from B1 to B2 with a 6-foot fence and no buffer.
Thank you. I'll open the floor to public comment on this item.
I'd like to give you just a little bit of history. You're probably not interested, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. There's 6 generations in our family that have lived here in Helena. My son lives in one of the original houses. It's about 115 years old. We've been here a long time. We have filled in just about every job description that Helena has, from being paid to volunteering. We've paid city taxes, and I'm still paying city taxes. All of us are. And I used to live in a neighborhood, and now I live in the business district. I feel like I've been treated pretty poorly. I just hope that when you make your vote, you will be merciful and think about whether you'd like all that's happened to me happen next to you. Thank you.
And we know who you are, but could you please, just for the record, state your name and address? That's all right.
Frances Hines, 2744 Helena Road.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Please state your name and address.
Trussell. I live at 725 Second Street in a house built in 1879. I've been around Helena since 77. I reviewed before I came here today, and for some people were talking about hearing what's going on ahead of time or whatever. It really benefits you to come to the council's work session prior to the city public meeting. They don't tell you you can't come, and you get to hear more involved about what they're going to discuss at the meeting. But about Mrs. Hines, I did, before I came here, pull up online what the B1 offers. And it offers such a nice variety of businesses that I don't see why our mayor happens to have a real estate license. So do I. To draw business to Helena, why don't we draw some B1? They create revenue as well, and just quit beating a dead horse. Thank you for your time, and I can see from the last meeting to this meeting, changes y'all have made that shows me that you care about Helena and the people of the city, and I have a renewed hope for our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Trussell. Any additional public comment on this item? Yes, sir.
My name is Dennis McKay. I live at 1070 Chateau Drive in Brandywine. We're about to have a second reading for the Helena Road, aka 261, we talked about. And we came to the zoning board meeting the other night, and I thought they denied this. And we're still kicking it down the road, even though there's all kind of issues about buffer zones and things like that. And I realize that the zoning board doesn't get to make the decision. You guys do. So what's going on?
So when the Planning and Zoning Commission gives a recommendation, that proceeds to the city council. The city council decides it. Planning and Zoning gives a recommendation, an advisory recommendation to approve or deny. So then it goes to the city council for a first reading and then a second reading, and we're at the second reading phase of this one now before city council.
Thought it was dead, but I guess not.
It's supposed to go forward to the city council, whether Planning and Zoning votes to approve or deny, and then, city council considers that recommendation, but.
And that's the reason the question got asked earlier about the moratorium for the thing, why was 261 not covered? And so I guess that was that answer, right? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any additional public comment on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain council comments, questions on this item. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny.
Mr. President.
Yes.
I make a motion that we deny the rezone request for the B1 Neighborhood Business District to B2 General Business District of 2698 Helena Road, excuse me, Store Growth and Development LLC with a recommendation. Sorry, I wasn't going to read the recommendation from the P&Z board.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Madam Clerk, a roll call vote. This is a vote to deny the request.
Given that one of the parties is a member of a board that I'm a liaison to, I have chosen to abstain.
Yes.
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 All right. That request is denied. All right, moving on to the next item on our agenda is our period for public comment. Madam Clerk, did we have anyone sign up for that? Okay. Did she sign up as well? Did she sign up for public comment as well?
You sign up.
Okay, she says she did sign up for public comment. Okay. All right, I'll allow her to speak as well after Mr. Stanberry. Okay.
Tom Stanberry, 146 Cedar Bend Drive. I want to applaud council and mayor for being as transparent as possible. We remember the last 5 years, you haven't even been in office for a year. I can see changes, and I've heard from fellow residents that they've seen changes. I really appreciate that. But when it comes to legislative items like resolutions and ordinances, for 5 years, we had a council and a mayor that just went by the skin of the teeth by law. They didn't have best practices. And I think best practices are a higher bar that require more public time for public comment, public inspection of resolutions and ordinances that come before council. I think at the minimum, there should be a 3-day period in which an ordinance or a resolution is available for public view. Any legislative item, I don't think should be added to the agenda at the last moment. These are general and permanent legislative actions by this body. So I think a best practice would be at least give 3 days for public review, and therefore the public and council are able to review those items and make a good decision on those, a respected vote on those. Again, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Stanberry. And Ms. Leslie, I'll allow you to come forward and speak as well. Please state your name and address.
Deb Losey, 151 Moss Bend Drive, Helena, Alabama. And I know y'all are probably tired of hearing from me, but I did want to actually thank you guys for passing the 6-month moratorium. That does give us some breathing room to do some research. So I think that's wonderful, and I appreciate y'all for that. I do research, and the things that I've been researching that I passed out to some of y'all, and if you need some more, if anybody needs them that didn't get them or didn't get to take a picture, I've got a few more up here. What I wanted to talk about briefly are NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and confidentiality agreements that are signed, not by our city council. I'm talking about other city councils that are passing agreements for data centers and signing NDAs so that the public is not aware of what's going on until agreements have already been made. I would like to get the council's opinion and feedback on whether or not they have signed any NDAs. My research has shown that since 25-26, nobody has signed any NDAs from Helena Council. So that's great. I've researched it and I could be wrong, but that's what I found, and that's great. But I would like you to publicly commit to the citizens of Helena that you will not be signing NDAs with private companies. And if you decide that you cannot do that, I would like some rationale as to why you would not do that, if that makes sense. Second thing is, I don't know if you have been approached to this point by companies, shell companies regarding data centers. But if so, I have done some research on data centers. This is the blue sheet that y'all may have and that some of y'all have pictures of. Please share it with your HOAs and with your neighbors. I did research. These are podcasts, YouTube podcasts, which you can go online, and there's 15, I think, podcasts regarding data centers. There's 2 podcasts regarding non-disclosure agreements by city councils. Not this city council. I'm talking about how city councils are approached, how they are manipulated, how they are used to establish data centers. And on the back page, it continues with one thing, which is flock cameras, which I won't get into, but I will get into later, but not tonight. On the green sheet, if you all have this, it's just simply a sheet encouraging people to work with their town council openly, and that our town council is our best defense and our greatest resource in protecting citizens in Helena, and to work cooperatively with them. There's also an explanation of a moratorium, what it is. I didn't know what it was, so I looked it up and I wrote it down, and you have it on your green sheet.
Ms. Pelosi, you're past 3 minutes now.
Okay, if anyone wants to talk to me afterward, I'll be outside for a few minutes, but thank you so much for letting me speak, and thank you all for your tolerance and patience with me tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next and final item on our agenda is council comments. I'll begin today with Councilman Healy.
Caught me there. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate it. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces, but new faces too as well. So please continue to come out. It helps us hear what your needs and desires are and what your questions are, so we can work with you as citizens, and that's what y'all elected us to do. So I thank you again, and we got a hot summer coming up, so we look forward to the events that we got. So thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Next, Councilwoman Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, and thank you all for showing up this evening. We appreciate you spending the evening with us. Sometimes it's a little entertaining and sometimes it's not. But I just wanted to remind you once again that the baby box blessing is tomorrow at 2:00 at Fire Station number 2. I am completely ecstatic about that coming to Helena. Keep your eyes on the caboose. We're going to be having a refresh done here in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get it done before July 3rd for the big 250 celebration. And just thank you. And I'm available anytime you need to talk to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hammond. Councilman McDaniels.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Mayor and public, I have a few things. Mayor, I hope you receive this as affirmation of our ability to support you and work with you. But the fee schedules, want to look at all the city fee schedules before we take a look at the FY27 budget. I think that's important. We have an opportunity to make adjustments to our fee schedule. Contracts that expire this year that exceed $30,000. If we can realize some savings and some contracts, want to try to piecemeal our way to a more healthier budget and reserve. Item, well, it doesn't have an item number. The 5248 Highway 17, will that item be back before the council, and if so, when?
Not that I'm aware of. The city's application that was withdrawn, correct? Yeah, I have no plan for her at this point. May I speak to your other point?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
you and I missed each other several times this weekend. The first 2 weeks, that's fair. I was calling to give you an update on that request. It was our goal to have at least a good start to that to you by the end of last week. With the transition to the new financial director, we have had several system issues that we had to battle with software, local government, and to say that Patty worked a lot of overtime last week is an understatement. So we were not able to get those contracts done. As soon as we're able to get our head above water, we'll get those to you. And I agree that those fee schedules and contract review is an integral part of next year's fiscal year budget. So we're in agreement. We just ran into a delay.
We did. Had a little shade because my wife had me working, but I'm so
She put you to work. I know.
July 9th, Lunch and Learn. This is a partnership between Parks and Rec and Avadian Credit Union. The topic will be fraud. This class or this Lunch and Learn, which lunch will be provided by Avadian, is open to all of our senior citizens. I know Parks and Rec does a really good job, Mayor, but if there's some way that we can overemphasize and share this with the public, I think it will, bring great value to senior citizens, the largest group who is preyed upon for fraud. It's a way to bring people north of the river into Parks and Rec. So if we can, let's try to promote the Lunch and Learn with the Avadian Credit Union, which is a local business. Number 5, I know how difficult per se it is to work with the railroad, but as they're doing the renovations, the debris, please have them to take it all. We don't want them to add to the debris. We want them to take it all. So that's something they can do, or they are an obstruction of our nuisance ordinance as it relates to their debris. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman McDaniels. And that leaves me to close us out here. And, we have the topic of our nation's history before us on tonight's council meeting agenda, and, looking ahead to the July 4th celebration on July 3rd. But, we've been a republic for most of those 250 years. And I'm going to step back into history a little bit and give you all a little bit of history about myself. I attended Birmingham Southern College, which has now been repurposed. The campus has now been repurposed as United States Coast Guard Training Center, Birmingham Southern. But I majored in history there, and that gave me a great appreciation for the principles of this republic and what we were founded upon. And I've said it several times during the campaign and just even before that, a republic works best when the public is engaged. And that doesn't always lead to us having the easiest decisions, because if we hear from all of y'all, we might hear 23,000 different opinions, but we do need to hear from y'all. We need y'all to participate in the process. We need y'all to be here. We may not always vote the way you want us to, but I know, speaking for myself, and I'm almost certain for all 4 of my colleagues, we are listening to you. So just remember, that's what this republic is about as you celebrate our 250th anniversary. And, there's a grave down the road from somebody who served in the Revolutionary Services. Captain David Lindsay, or Private David Lindsay, served in a unit from Pennsylvania to help create this nation. So he was buried here 6 miles down the road from my neighborhood. So just remember, we've got 2 veterans sitting up here with us, and there's probably some more veterans out here in the audience. Remember everything that they've done, and always appreciate what you're blessed with to live in this nation. And have a great 4th of July, and this meeting is adjourned.